Man, is it hot out. Whoo, boy, is it hot out.
How hot is it?
So hot that you should listen to Sports Frenzy to cool off. He's setting me up. I don't have anything.
Come on.
What am I, Rodney Dangerfield? Bringing him back from the grave now? I don't have that kind of
supposed to be
comedic
Gene
timing.
Rayburn. Come on.
He's Dave.
He's Kev.
It is time for your weekly dose of politically incorrect sports commentary. Yes, it is time for Sports Frenzy 2.0, a fixture on public access TV, YouTube, and now podcasting for 30 years.
Yep. Taping here August 23rd, 2023, dropping Thursday the 24th. It's that time of year. We've made the pivot.
So it's time to talk football in the first segment. And I doubt it's going to change very much for the next 5 months.
Pretty much. 'Tis that time of year, kids.
And a lot of Bears news to lead off this week. Former Bears, current Bears. Now on the field, bad news. The offensive line takes a hit.
Big hit.
As left guard Tevin Jenkins, looking like he's going to miss time in the regular season. Possibly.
And no, it's not his back.
Yeah, no. What was it, Chris Williams? Was he the one that we drafted
Tevin,
with back problems?
Yeah, Tevin had his problems with his back, and he had the surgery his rookie year. But he's built everything up around it. That's not the problem anymore. Now it's a leg injury.
So we still don't have a firm timetable for his return, but it looks like he could miss up to the first month of the regular season.
Gah.
Now, another little intriguing thing going on here in the preseason. We signed P.J. Walker. We still have Nathan Peterman on the roster, but
why the hell did Peterman get so much playing time?
Well,
against the Colts.
There are sentiments, rumblings, rumors that D2 quarterback from Shepherd University, Tyson Bagent, is in line to be the backup for Justin Fields week 1.
Okay. Again, so why did Nathan Peterman have so much playing time?
Maybe they're trying to say, hey, this is your last shot, buddy. Figure it out. I'd be fine if I wouldn't give the D2 kid the backup role.
No, let him be
Cut Peterman, keep him behind PJ Walker.
And then, let the D2 kid run the practice team.
Right. Yeah.
Get a couple reps here and there.
Now, of course, moving on to former Bears players in the good column. Mongo McMichael, Steve McMichael, is a Hall of Fame finalist for 2024.
Good for him. Let's hope he actually makes it this year and he survives long enough to see it happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, he makes it and he makes it.
Yeah.
Now on to the bad. But luckily we're talking about, again, former Bears. Former Bear Robert Quinn, who stole millions upon millions of dollars from the Bears, had one good season. One good season. Arrested in South Carolina, hit and run and assault charges. By all accounts, it sounds like a very nasty, ugly incident.
Yes, it was not pretty from what the article read.
Yeah, and the assault is on a woman.
Yeah, again, never a good thing.
Now, former Bear Jimmy Graham, arrested in Southern California, wandering around disoriented, but they're saying he had some sort of a seizure.
Yeah. So if he had this seizure, why is he not on the PUP list right now?
Yeah, he pretty much went back, the Saints were playing? The Chargers, I think?
Yeah, and went back and started playing right away.
Yeah.
If that happens, if you have a seizure, they don't let you drive for a specified amount of time. Why would this team put him at risk out there taking a shot to the head? It's a cover-up. It's a cover-up.
I can't argue with you on that. And of course, Dave is the master of the conspiracy theory. So
I'll find one wherever you want me to look.
Don't get him started on the mysterious death of the Russian leader who stood up to Putin. That the news just broke today.
Yep. Make your own conclusions, kids.
I guess everybody is not happy playing in Kansas City with Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. All-pro defensive tackle Chris Jones responding to a social media post, which I love, by the way, where the guy said, "Oh, it must be so difficult. You have to play for $20 million this year." Chris Jones responds, week 8, which, of course, is the maximum amount of time he can hold out before coming back to the team to get some of his salary.
Yeah. He's willing to put part of his salary,
basically almost half of it,
yeah,
between fines and lost salary. He would be looking at almost $10 million lost.
Yeah. Oof. Crazy stuff, kids.
And of course, we've got Josh Jacobs with the Raiders still. Don't know where that's going to end up going.
Yep. Jonathan Taylor. The Colts have given him permission to seek out a trade. His agent's been on the horn. Now their Colts are fielding offers, trying to see what they can get.
Latest that I heard today is that about half a dozen teams have inquired. 2 teams have made offers.
There we go.
The Colts are looking for a first-round pick or the equivalent,
like a second,
in multiple
third
picks.
Yeah.
So, now, of course, the usual suspects are named: the Bills, the Dolphins.
Any team that's had struggled with the running game.
But you're going to have to pay him.
Right.
You're going to have to. You don't trade for him and let him walk.
You don't know how his ankle's going to be this year, because he's already said it has not responded the way they had hoped after the surgery. So he's going to have to think about taking a pay cut until he can prove himself again.
Yeah, I got a feeling he's going to be playing for the Colts this year.
Yep.
I don't want to hear the whining and the bitching and the moaning and the crying from the running backs about we're underpaid, we're undervalued. Somebody else on the team is getting the money. Again, this is a salary cap league, and all the teams spend very, very close most years to that cap number. So somebody else on that team, whether it's your quarterback, a stud defensive lineman, a stud secondary guy, a stud wide receiver, somebody's getting the money.
Or a tackle that will protect the hell out of your quarterback's blind side.
Somebody's getting that money. It's not like, again, I've used the analogy before, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Baltimore Orioles, who are not spending the money because they're not required to in Major League Baseball. The NFL is a completely different animal. So the whining and the crying from the running backs, I'm tired of it.
Just be done. Be grateful you're getting what you're getting. Poor Trey Lance. Getting pushed right on out of the league already. Sam Darnold's been named the backup quarterback to Mr. Purdy.
Yeah, now the thing that's interesting about this is, number one, after the injury in the playoffs, initially we were told that Brock Purdy might not be ready for the beginning of the season.
Right.
Might not be ready until about halfway through the season. So then it was it going to be Sam Darnold? Is it going to be Trey Lance? Now all of a sudden, Brock Purdy comes out, looks stellar in San Francisco's last preseason game. So he's set. He's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
And, of course, that's going to kill the career of one Trey Lance.
Which, if they were so high and all hired up on him, Why did they even bring Darnold in?
Yeah, that'll tell you right there.
That they did not have the faith in Lance.
Yeah, that is one of the few out-and-out whiffs by John Lynch in the front office. That Trey Lance, as the number 2 pick in the draft a few years ago, is going to go down as a miserable failure. Now, do I hope that? No, of course not. I hope he bounces back, succeeds somewhere else, but the odds are not in his favor, given the fact that this league, here and now.
Yep, Lance was a number 3 overall pick
number
in
3.
2021.
All right, number 3. My bad. This league will discard quarterbacks at the drop of a hat. Ask Zach Wilson with the Jets. Jordan Love, luckily, now gets his chance to shine.
Yeah.
But he was very close to being discarded.
Yep, it's a finicky league in which they play.
And, of course, one Baker Mayfield has his last best chance.
Yep. Going to name the starter for the Bucs.
He beat out Kyle Trask. I'd heard many, many good things out of camp about Kyle Trask, but they go with the veteran.
Give Trask a little bit of time. And now, Mayfield could be just one hit away again.
And the thing is, Mayfield did not look bad in the limited time he played with the Rams at the end of last year. He's got Mike Evans. He's got Chris Godwin. And this is where I get really mad as a Buccaneers fan about them comparing the media, comparing this Aaron Rodgers New York Jets situation to Tom Brady stepping in with the Buccaneers a few years ago. Tom Brady walked into the perfect situation. He's not an idiot. He had a head coach who was established already in Bruce Arians. He had Mike Evans. He had Chris Godwin. He had a stellar defense.
And
he had a great offensive
running game.
And he had Leonard Fournette, a decent running game. There are a lot more question marks
with the Jets.
The coach, okay, you bring Dalvin Cook in, that's fine. That defense right now is not nearly as good as the defense the Buccaneers had.
No, it's not.
Stop it. Stop with these comparisons. The Hard Knocks crap. Oh, my God.
Yeah, and the last I checked, Rodgers won, one Super Bowl?
Yeah. How many's Tom Brady got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Big difference.
Big difference.
All right, the Ravens, finally, years and years and years in the making, lost a preseason game.
Good grief.
I believe it was a last-second kick.
Yes.
They lost to the Commanders.
And the Commanders celebrated like they won the Super Bowl.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They've had so little to celebrate. You have to take what you can get.
And again, we kind of alluded to this, and we'll get to this when we get to our NFL season preview here in a couple weeks. But crucial time with new ownership for Ron Rivera.
Yep.
We'll see what Sam Howell does as the starting quarterback.
Lots of questions in Washington.
Now, I will say this, kids. I will preface the rest of this episode by saying this. And we could have already said this about Robert Quinn. I guess we weren't going to say it about Jimmy Graham, but there are going to be some dumb-ass candidates who we just work into the regular part of the show.
It happens.
It just gets redundant. Big-time, overpaid athlete gets pulled over for yada, yada, yada. Gun charges, drug charges.
Hey, speaking of that.
Oh, yeah! Gee!
Nice segue there, talking about Cowboys defensive end Sam Williams, who was in possession of a controlled substance, and it was not marijuana. Reports are it is a state jail penalty substance, along with an unlawful carry.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's a misdemeanor
that's a
charge.
misdemeanor, but the controlled substance charge is the one to watch.
And he has had issues with the law before.
So it may not even be coke. It could be meth.
Yep. And again, once again, Jerry Jones and his motley crew make the headlines in the wrong way.
Once again.
I swear
It's
to God.
almost a pattern.
I swear to God, I think if you get a camera inside his office at AT&T Stadium, he has got a picture of Jimmy Johnson. He looks at it all the time and goes, "Oh, Jimmy, I miss you, Jimmy. I love you, Jimmy. I'm so sorry. I ran you out."
Either that or it's sitting on a dartboard poked full of holes.
Or he's got his picture painted on the bottom of a toilet bowl in his private lavatory.
He's got specially printed Jimmy Johnson toilet paper.
Yeah. How about them Cowboys? Here you go. Meet my cheeks, Jimmy. But that would be pure bitterness because Jimmy is, in the end, more significant
than Jerry Jones.
Yes. All right, let's move on to college football. A couple things here to talk about. Number one, next week. I just alluded to the fact that we're going to be talking about the NFL and our season predictions in a couple of weeks. But next week is our NCAA football season prediction episode. We will look at...
Good grief, that came up quick.
I know, but it's that time. Yep. We'll look at who we all think on our panel of 8 will make, for the last year,
the Final Four.
And who will win the overall title.
Heisman Trophy prediction.
Yep, predictions for Notre Dame and Miami, the teams that we follow. And, of course, it'll be a smaller slate for week 1, but a slate of NCAA games that we will share our picks with you.
Yep.
We're not picking this weekend. We're not picking
We don't pick week 0.
Yeah. Even if Notre Dame's over in Ireland playing Navy, who cares? Who cares?
Week 0 does not count for us.
And there's usually not that many good games.
No.
They're just, and this year, no exception when it comes to week 0. We were talking earlier about conspiracy theories, right, Dave?
Yes, we usually do.
And, of course, I'm like you. I am always in for a good conspiracy theory. Isn't it funny? Or as Alanis Morissette would say, isn't it ironic that Jim Harbaugh was in line for a 4-game suspension from the NCAA? And I believe that 4th game would have been a very significant game on the schedule.
Yep.
For the Michigan Wolverines.
And the NCAA said, no, we're looking to hit him harder.
So now Michigan comes out and says,
well, we're going to do a 3-game self-penalty to maybe ease things down the road. Where it's all the first 3 cakewalk games that they don't shouldn't have to worry about.
All cupcake games. And you watch. This will quietly go away. The NCAA will accept this 3-game self-imposed penalty. And Michigan will, because you know why? The TV partners. The TV partners do not want a big game once we hit week 4. And the cupcakes for Alabama and for Michigan and all the big schools are gone, and they start getting into the conference games. They don't want to piss off their TV partners.
Well, guess what? Sometimes they have to be pissed off because justice needs to be served.
But it's just funny.
Yes.
They put the 4-game suspension out there. Oh, okay. That's pretty significant. No, we don't want that. We're coming down hard. Now, we'll just take 3. We'll do it ourselves.
We'll do 3 ourselves to show we're in good faith.
And I guarantee It's going to stick, and it's all it's going to be.
And Harbaugh will be gone after this season, so he doesn't have to serve anything. And if they come down on the university, oh, well, what does he care?
Yep. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I hate, it's not just the NCAA. It's all the major sports. This is why we rip on them each and every week on this show. We are the fountain of honesty when it comes to sports. They are playing us. They act like we're idiots. They act like we're stupid when it comes to their TV and streaming deals, when it comes to these kind of quote-unquote harsh penalties.
Yeah. No,
we can see right through what you're doing. They don't need Jim Harbaugh to coach them against West Montana State, you know?
Oh, it's frustrating.
All right. The ACC starting to get a little more serious about staying in with the big boys now that the conferences are starting to expand or fail miserably. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Pac-12.
Pac-4.
Yeah. The ACC now, again, ramping up efforts to bring Cal and Stanford in from the Pac-12, as well as SMU is now in the sights of the ACC as they try to keep Florida State, Miami, and Clemson happy.
Yep. And God, which ACC soccer coach was it? I forgot to write his name down the other day, said that the Cal and Stanford could just rot on the vine because he doesn't want to have to compete with recruiting with Stanford.
That is not the answer you want to hear.
No, but that's from a soccer coach.
Right.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Somebody who doesn't count.
Really? A soccer coach in the ACC?
Yep.
Complaining about having to recruit against Stanford.
Yeah, God, who was? I'll have to see if I can find it at some point.
We're going to stick with the Pac-12, or as Dave said, the Pac-4. And again, Reggie Bush suing the NCAA for defamation. Why, do you ask?
Because he lost his Heisman.
No, he doesn't like the language that was used in a statement a couple years ago. His name was not brought up. But the implication was that Reggie Bush was involved in a pay-for-play scandal. Oh, no, I wasn't. I'm going to sue you now. I'm going to sue you.
Well, if somebody
Did you or did you not take benefits and money and houses for your family? Oh, but that's not pay-for-play. Shut up, Reggie. Go back and do some more Wendy's commercials. Keep your goddamn pie hole shut. You weren't that great when it came to the pros. You're not that good as a commentator. Just shut up and take what you've got and be happy.
Just go away.
No,
there's a report there for a reason. There is a reason for it.
You were corrupt. You deserve to lose the Heisman. You got caught. And now because you don't like the language from a quote from a couple years ago from the NCAA because they said pay for play.
That's exactly defamation. What it was. No, that's what it was. You got paid to play for USC.
It's garbage. I hope somebody is smart enough
to say,
throw it out. Throw this lawsuit out.
Absolutely ridiculous.
All right, kids, that's going to do it for segment 1. Football gaining momentum. Your football fix here this week. We've got it covered, over and done. We've still got baseball, NASCAR, a little bit of soccer news, controversy, and a new women's world champion. Of course, in the final segment, dumbasses of the week.
You know the drill by now, kids.
Stay tuned. Dave and I will be right back.
This episode of Sports Frenzy 2.0 is brought to you by the Bills Mafia Marital Aid Company, because when you are down and out, we'll bring you back up and in the game. Sports Frenzy 2.0 on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, and Stitcher. All right, segment 2 here on Sports Frenzy 2.0. I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
And I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane.
And here we are taping August 23rd, 2023, dropping on the 24th. Talking baseball now on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Amazon, Audible, iHeart, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, and Stitcher!
I couldn't even do it. I'm so sad.
Yes, this is the last bastion for Stitcher.
Stitcher's shutting down next week as we tape.
We cannot.
There it is.
Struck off the list.
Dave is crossing Stitcher off the list of the available platforms where you can enjoy Sports Frenzy 2.0. No official replacement has been named yet.
No. But we'll figure something out. We always do. So, baseball. Big news out of Chicago. Expected this at the end of this season, but Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the White Sox, comes out and announces yesterday on the 22nd the firing of Executive Vice President Kenny Williams and GM Rick Hahn. Yes, I have been calling for that all season long. Finally, it happened last night. As my buddy texted me, he goes, yes, I was just getting ready to go to bed when I heard the news. Now I can have sweet dreams. But alas, the nightmare is going to begin already after just a short glimmer of hope that maybe Reinsdorf finally pulled his head out of his ass and would go outside the organization. Maybe to bring somebody in who actually knows what the hell they're doing in this new day and age of baseball. But the rumblings now, they're going to stay in-house. Former player Chris Getz, who served the last several years as the coordinator of the minor leagues, trying to put that together, it has not gone well. He has been a joke putting the minor league system together and running it. Had a few years assisting in the front office with Kansas City. Again, why frickin' Kansas City? And if the rumors are true, Getz as an assistant will bring in his former boss, Dayton Moore, former GM for the Chiefs that he worked under.
The Royals?
Yep.
Okay, you said the Chiefs.
Or sorry, Kansas City.
He's upset, kids. He's very upset.
I'm pissed. Why are we going to the Royals? The only organization worse than them in this division.
Oh, but they had 2 good years.
Whoop-de-frickin-do. They've been trash every other time. I want consistency.
They're the second worst team in baseball this year.
Yes. God, it's pathetic. And we find out frickin' Tony La Russa's back as an advisor to Reinsdorf during this crap. It gets worse and worse. Reinsdorf has got to sell the damn team.
Well, there are rumors that he's thinking about it.
He needs to, because right now, letters are going out to season ticket holders for renewals for next year. And if you're pulling this crap, staying in-house and not giving your fans any glimmer of hope for the future, nobody's going to buy tickets. They're going to be done. And we're talking now, the rumored leak to try and gain some leverage that the Sox, the lease is up with guaranteed rate field in 6 years. Get us a new lease, give us more property around there so we can develop our own entertainment district, or we'll move somewhere else in the city, or we'll move out of state. I swear, if they relocate to another city, I'm done with baseball.
Salt Lake Sox.
Done.
Salt Lake Sox.
Done with baseball. No. I am going to be so pissed off. There would be no coming back from it.
And the way that Chicago runs that city, the disarray that city is in, I could see them just being stupid enough to let the White Sox go.
Yeah.
Just like the Bears are saying, we're moving to the suburbs.
Will the Sox stay somewhere? Who knows?
Does Chicago become a second-class sports city with only one sports team per major league? Hockey, basketball, baseball, football, whereas New York gets everything they want, multiple teams in every sport.
LA.
Los Angeles. But Chicago would drop out.
They would.
Losing their second baseball team.
Yeah. It's absolutely pathetic that we got such an arrogant, narrow-minded individual who's more focused on loyalty than winning. And you saw that for how long with Paxson and the Bulls?
And we've seen the results with the Bulls. After Michael Jordan left, success has been very, very limited with the Bulls.
Yeah, there's been
They
nothing.
let Jimmy Butler walk. Now they're dealing with the mess with Lonzo Ball and the perpetual knee injury that will never heal.
Yeah, it goes on and on with Reinsdorf.
Yeah.
So,
but there's hope. There's hope in hockey.
There is hope in hockey
with Connor Bedard, and there's hope on the north side.
If you could ever get a manager.
I still think he's going to be the reason why the Cubs somehow miss the playoffs. Because right now, they're in a dogfight for that wild card spot, that last wild card spot. Just a day ago, as we tape, they had jumped over the Giants and taken over the second wild card spot. Then they lost to the Tigers yesterday. And it all kind of fell back again. The Diamondbacks are hot again. So now they're back in the mix.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy stuff.
Luckily, the Cubs won today, taking 2 out of 3 from the Detroit Tigers. Cubs right now are 66-60, second place in the NL Central, 3.5 games behind Milwaukee. And again, I say it every year. Craig Counsell is one of the most undervalued, underrated managers. He has got nothing, a team that will spend nothing to help him out. They did nothing at the trade deadline.
No.
Virtually nothing.
And he's doing all he can to get these guys to perform and play, putting them in a position to win.
And they're still, a dozen games above 500?
Yep.
He's going to the playoffs again. This is the guy.
This is the guy who everybody is going to be going after.
I was going to say, if the Yankees jettison Brett Boone,
they're going to
or Aaron Boone. Sorry.
Aaron Boone, yeah.
I get the Boones mixed up. At least I didn't say Daniel Boone. Or Debbie Boone. Oh! The worst song ever! The worst song ever!
Or Pat.
You light up my life. I like Pat Boone. Pat Boone's fine.
There you go.
But You Light Up My Life, worst song ever.
It's pretty bad.
But the Yankees, speaking of Aaron Boone, and possibly maybe seeing Craig Counsell go to the Big Apple.
Yep. 9-game losing streak.
Which is the longest losing streak for the New York Yankees since 1982. Put that in perspective, kids. I was in high school. Dave was about ready to go to high school. That's how long ago it's been since the Yankees have had this kind of run of futility.
Yep. God, 82. I was 11.
Yep. I was 16.
Ugh.
Of course, the music was great.
Oh, the music was phenomenal, but
We got Van Halen in prime form, Night Ranger.
Life was good on the rock and roll scene.
Yep. But do you think I'm going to shed a tear for the Yankees or the Mets? Hell no.
Tears of joy from laughter at their misery.
Will they do the right thing and fire Aaron Boone, fire Brian Cashman, and bring in a guy like Craig Counsell? Now, does Craig Counsell, I got to believe he wants to get away from Milwaukee. He wants to go somewhere where
he has a legitimate chance.
Well, they'll at least spend the money.
Yeah.
But is that
Does he want to deal with the nightmare that is New York?
Do the Dodgers, if they fail again in the playoffs, finally get rid of Dave Roberts? Does that open up?
Time will tell.
All right. Unfortunately, some bad news. We talked last week. The scandal was just percolating, just starting up. Of course, Dave and I were talking about Wander Franco and his suspension from the Tampa Bay Rays. And Dave, of course, brought up the fact there were pictures on social media
with an underage girl. Now it's coming out that he had inappropriate relationships with multiple underage girls.
So the Tampa Bay Rays, understandably, are pulling his likeness from all around Tropicana Field. They're pulling TV ads that he's involved with.
Yep, you have to.
Now he has been put on administrative leave.
Yep. And that's something both the team, the league, and the players' union have to agree on.
And then, of course, keep in mind, he is just starting an 11-year, $182 million deal. So it'll be very interesting to see how that all shakes out.
Yes,
in terms
yes,
of,
it will.
Do the Rays have to pay it if he is found guilty of inappropriate conduct with minors down in the Dominican Republic?
That's an out. Sorry. You've got to have, in every contract, there has got to be the language for legal things, there's an out.
But, I am cynical beyond belief. I don't believe it. I believe somehow he'll still end up getting money, a large chunk of this contract from the Rays. And again, I hate the players' unions, and we'll talk more about them in just a minute in another sport. But I hate I hate unions because they're not needed anymore. Unions were put in place to make sure working conditions were better. Working conditions were safe and sanitary. Unions were not put in place
to bleed everybody dry.
Destroy companies so you could get a pension that would keep your family safe and sound while destroying tens and dozens of other families because they would get laid off, fired, company shuts down. I don't care what union people think of me saying that. I honestly don't. I hate unions. I hate them. They serve no goddamn purpose other than to destroy the lives of people who aren't in the unions. Oh, Dave, did you see that Seattle-Houston series over the weekend?
Not really, no, because I was rocking out all weekend.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll get to that in the weekend edition. Concerts.
Lots of concerts.
But I did watch a little bit of the Seattle-Houston series over the weekend. I believe it was on Peacock Sunday. Couple of milestones reached over the weekend, this past weekend, in that series. Number one, Jose Altuve gets his 2,000th hit.
Whew.
Becomes only the third Houston Astro ever. Of course, you should be able to name the other two.
Biggio.
There's one.
And the other B. God, now I'm drawing a blank.
Bagwell,
yes.
Bagwell and Biggio, and now Altuve. And they were talking like it's within reach. Altuve just seems like he's been in the league forever.
Yeah, and he hasn't been.
No, he's right around 30 years old.
Yeah, he's only been in, 8 years?
Yeah. But it seems like he's been in a lot more than that.
Yeah.
It does.
Because he was mired on those awful teams when they were tanking before building up, and he's been the face of that franchise the entire time. And in 8 years already netted 2,000 hits. And he's got at least probably another 10 years to go.
So we'll see. Now, a little bit younger, and on the other side, Julio Rodriguez. You want to talk about a guy who was on fire? Major League Baseball record, 17 hits in 4 games.
Oof.
And of course, the Seattle Mariners have been on fire. They have pushed their way not only into the playoffs, they've pushed past Toronto to take that last wild card spot and are threatening these Astros.
And the Rangers.
Yeah, the Rangers are starting to fail a little bit at the top there.
Yeah.
So we shall see who ends up being the champion of the American League. It's going to be interesting because I don't know. Do we really trust Baltimore yet?
I don't know.
Tampa Bay
will have to see.
Has been playing basically 500 baseball since their hot start.
Yeah. Here you go. As of now, taping before this evening's games, Rangers 72-54, Houston 72-55, Mariners 71-56.
The AL West is very tight, kids. So it's going to be fun down the stretch to see in both the American and the National League who ends up making it into the postseason. And then, of course, once we get there, we know it is anybody's game.
Yep, except for the Twins. They're just trash.
It's just that. I know. It's just awful. Yeah, we should just be able to, delete the AL Central.
Yeah.
And just let Seattle and Houston and Texas and Toronto and Tampa, the Orioles, let those 6 fight it out, Just skip the Twins.
Sorry, that's almost like a bye.
Yeah. All right. I mentioned how much I hate unions, and again, I don't care what you think. I don't care. We mentioned last week James Harden calling Philadelphia 76ers owner Daryl Morey a liar. Well, guess what? The league says you can't do that. You cannot say that about an owner. James Harden fined $100,000.
Good.
Oh, but the NBA Players Association files a grievance.
Guess what? Too damn bad.
So can the owners start saying shit about the players? Can Daryl Morey come out and say, well, James Harden's a pussy? Can he say that? I bet he can't. I bet he would be drummed out of the league in 2 seconds like Donald Sterling, forced to sell the team.
Yep.
But James Harden can debase and degrade an owner, and that's okay. James Harden is the most disgraceful, disappointing basketball player of all time.
One of them.
Based on his statistics, based on the fact that he's been able to move to any team he wanted to through whining, bitching, pissing, moaning, and crying. He has always put himself in a position to win, yet he always blows it up. He sabotages it.
He doesn't perform when he is expected to.
And remember the last playoffs? He had one good game, and I said, oh, are we finally going to see James Harden show up?
Nope.
Of course, yeah, after that one good performance.
One game a year in the postseason, he shows up.
Now, let's move on to soccer.
What?
Soccer. Because, of course, the American women failed miserably. Maybe if you weren't so worried about doing advertisements and kissing Megan Rapinoe's ass, her purple-haired ass,
yep,
you could have focused on the game itself.
Yep, and their co-captain, Lindsey Horan, said that they were not fully prepared heading into this World Cup.
But they're blaming the coach for that. They're blaming the coach for that. Not themselves. They're not blaming themselves. They're blaming the coach. Who has been dismissed.
They need to own up because they're more focused on their own commercials, their own interests, and not working together as a team as they had in the past. The coach should have had nothing to do with it. It's on them as individuals. They knew what needed to be done to continue. They can't lay all the blame on the coach.
But, of course, he's a scapegoat. He's going to get the blame. He's the one who gets dismissed. So, who, you ask, won the Women's World Cup? That would be Spain, as they defeated England. But do you think we could have a champion in the Women's World Cup without scandal?
No. Well, I want to give
not one, but two.
But two. I wanted to give you Horan's other things. She did say, we did not get the best out of every single individual. I don't think everyone was fully prepared, and that's on us as well.
All right, good for her then.
So she is putting the onus on the team as well.
Good for her. Still doesn't save the job of the coach.
It doesn't, but at least you have somebody taking personal responsibility, which from that team is unbelievable.
Yeah, a very rare occurrence indeed.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So now we have two scandals involving Spain's victory over England in the Women's World Cup. And of course, both basically sexual harassment. Spanish Soccer Federation President Luis Rubiales caught on video in the celebration grabbing the head of one of the players and kissing her full on the lips.
Not cool.
And she basically was asked about it at the press conference afterwards and said, no, I did not enjoy it.
He needs to be reprimanded and fined.
But now we have more video. And again, this day and age, there's video everywhere.
Oh, he did it to more than one player.
No. No, this is not about Luis Rubiales. This is about the coach himself, Jorge Vilda. Jorge Vilda is seen on video during the celebration copping a feel of a female staffer's breast.
No!
And again, it's all on video. Both of these situations, both of these instances caught on video.
Come on. So inappropriate. Idiots.
This is the kind of stuff.
Idiots.
This is the kind of stuff where, despite the fact I hate the hashtag #MeToo movement, this is the kind of stuff where I go, you're killing me, guys. You're killing me. How am I supposed to stick up for men when you're pulling shit like this?
Unfortunately, there are the entitled, power-mad individuals who think they can do whatever they want. And they need to be held accountable and taken down. And stop ruining it for everybody else!
There you go. couldn't have said it better myself. But yeah, will Spain
do the right thing? It's Spain. Seriously, do we expect that machismo mentality to take a back seat to do the right thing?
No.
No.
We'll be all indignant here in America. The press will continue to focus on this for another week or two, and it'll go away
And
because there's nothing
be
we can do about it. Because it's not in America, where we, again, bitch and piss and moan and complain until we destroy our society.
Oh, it's already 3/4 of the way gone, so.
Where the needs of the few, the wants, the rights of the few are much more important than the wants, the needs, and the right of the vast majority. But I digress. And I'm going to digress right into another promo break.
We'll be back. Stay tuned, kids.
Feeling mildly fatigued? Need a day off even if you just took one a few days ago? Make $30 million a year but just don't want to work for it? You need to join the NBA Load Management Club right now. When they're not napping or texting, guest lecturers Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving will describe foolproof ways to earn tens of thousands of dollars by not doing anything. Sports Frenzy 2.0, available on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, is currently negotiating with LeBron James to bring his popular How to Make the Hall of Fame Without Really Trying webinar live and in person to the Load Management Club. Thanks again to Sports Frenzy 2.0 and all you apathetic fans out there for making us a success. All right, kids, third and final segment here on August the 23rd, 2023, dropping Thursday morning, August the 24th. He's a conquistador, Dave Height.
He's a maestro, Kevin Crane.
We are approaching the end of the NASCAR Cup Series regular season. One more race to go, 25 down, and then 10 more races to winnow out, to filter out the chaff until we get a champion for the 2023 season. Doesn't look like it's going to be Chase Elliott.
No, it does not, barring a miracle at Daytona. Oh, God, what an absolute pathetic performance by the Hendricks team.
Just that team. Because, of course, William Byron...
Byron wins the race, but they needed Elliott to win to qualify. And they let him down.
Of course, we're talking about the race at Watkins Glen. Go bowling at the Glen. Dave and I, of course, no, we're not bitter just because we picked Chase Elliott to actually show up and win. Now, Dave was at a concert, as he mentioned previously, so I was filling him in up to the point where it was worthless and hopeless.
Yeah, when all hope was lost.
But here's what happened with Chase Elliott. Of course, we just mentioned William Byron won. I won't say he dominated because the first stage, it looked like Michael McDowell was going to run away with this thing. But then he just had the worst luck of all time. 2 penalties, and then his car just basically quit. So he ended up last after winning the first stage, dominating the first stage.
Ouch.
So then William Byron stepped up. Byron finished second in the first stage and then stepped up, and he dominated the rest of the race. But Chase Elliott...
horrible qualifying to begin with.
Right. I believe he started 16th. The thing is, when I told Dave the killer was Chase Elliott running out of gas as they try to make it on 2 stops.
You never try and go. And it didn't even get him at the lead at all.
No, he was in the top 10, and then he runs out of gas. Why did he run out of gas? Because his crew chief told him, you're fine, you flip the switch on the reserve, and you can go 2 more laps. That would have worked at Richmond.
Yeah.
The idiot was looking at the reserve tank as if they were on a short track like Richmond, not a long road course track like Watkins Glen. I cannot believe a professional cup-level crew chief
could
made that kind of mistake.
Stupid mistake. That's inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable.
So, of course, Chase Elliott finishes near the back of the pack, as Dave alluded to, destroying his chances to get into the Cup playoffs, albeit a win at Daytona would get him in. Wouldn't that be funny if that happened?
Ugh, bastard.
Now, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski lock in on points. So right now, the only person left
on the bubble
is Bubba Wallace.
Bubble Wallace?
Bubba cannot afford to have a new winner at the Coke Zero Sugar 400 this coming Saturday night.
He needs a solid finish too, doesn't he?
I think he'd be okay.
He's okay,
almost
on
okay
points.
on points, but he cannot have somebody outside the top 16 right now win the race. So we'll see how that goes.
Sorry, Bubba. Go. Well, I'm not going to give my pick away yet.
Truck Series drivers Chris Hacker and Jason White suspended for separate DWI incidents.
Yep.
Well,
indefinitely suspended.
It always boggles my mind. I will never understand race car drivers, professional race car drivers at the top level getting DWIs. I will never understand it.
It's insane. It's ridiculous.
Speeding, I get. Driving while drunk, never will get it.
No.
Never will get it. Because these guys know the dangers of what happens behind the wheel of a car.
Yeah, there's no excuse for it.
News on the media negotiations for the Cup Series. We all know where the Xfinity Series is going. NBC and Fox are close to renewing their deals.
Just give it all to Fox.
But
we don't like NBC coverage.
But they are still looking at giving up 6 to 8 races in the summer to a third party. And right now the rumors are
CBS.
Right now the rumors are Amazon.
No.
A mystery guest to the party who
the CW maybe?
You're going to love the third one. Max.
No, God, keep it off the effing streaming services.
And rumors are that if Max gets it, you will have to pay even more to access.
That's absolutely
You'll have to basically
crap.
sign up for their highest tier.
No.
In order to access
that
the
is
NASCAR
absolute
races.
Garbage. Absolute trash. Keep streaming out of sports.
I can tell you right now.
It has to be done. People will bolt.
One guy who ain't going to do it, that's me.
I sure as hell
Max
won't.
is trash. Max is absolute trash. I hate it, and I'm not paying more so I can watch 6 races.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Amazon, I'm already paying for that. They didn't jack the price up for Thursday Night Football. Okay, I can live with that.
And Apple doesn't know what the hell they're doing with sports at all.
Well, the rumor is Apple's now in the market to buy ESPN.
God help us all. God help us all. This is ridiculous.
God, please tell me Max does not get.
Give it to the CW. Hell, let's give it to CBS. Bring Mike Joy and the crew over. Hell, we got Alan Bestwick out there who could do it for CBS.
I know. I'm just telling you, the streaming stuff, I'm with you, though. It's inevitable that they're going to give it a shot, and it's inevitable that they are going to destroy the audience.
Yep. People are fed up. Everybody was tired with having to pay the bigger rates for cable. And now you want everyone to buy every damn streaming service, which is going to cost more than what your cable did in the long run? No.
And the streaming services aren't offering jack shit.
No.
In terms of good
nothing.
new content.
There's nothing.
I know this is kind of a weekend edition discussion, but I've already told Dave, the minute I watch The Flash, I'm out on HBO or Max. Sorry, I still call it HBO Max.
Yeah, we went for the year because of the deal we got on it at the time.
Right.
It saved us in the long run.
No, I'm out. I'm watching The Flash this weekend, and then I'm done. Because they won't tell me when Doom Patrol's coming back. Now they're saying I'm going to have to pay more if they jump into the Cup Series.
Crap.
Party. Forget it. I'll keep Peacock. I'll keep Paramount Plus. I'll keep Amazon. That's it. I've got a sweet deal on Disney Plus and Hulu into November, and then I dump them as well.
There you go. I'm still not giving the rat my money.
Well, I'm only giving them $3 a month for both.
There you go. That was a sweetheart deal.
All right. The SRX season is done.
It's a wrap.
And unfortunately, because of concerts, life,
Liberty.
Dave and I have not been able to watch the last two races.
Nope, but we know what happened. We caught some highlights. We told you last week Tony won his home track of Eldora. This week at Lucas Oil.
Not the one in Indianapolis.
The dirt track further west. Jonathan Davenport, the local guy out there, wins the first heat and the feature. So congratulations to him for showing everybody up on his home turf.
And our third SRX overall champion is actually our third different overall SRX champion. We had Tony Stewart in season 1. We had Marco Andretti last year. And this year,
we have flying Ryan Newman. Good for him and his comeback to racing. It's limited. This is the type of thing that's good for him. Not a lot of high impact stuff, just fun for him to get out there and compete.
Yeah, and I believe one Mr. Paul Tracy never came back.
No, he did not. His SRX career could quite possibly be over because I think he is personally responsible for damage to more cars than all the other drivers combined.
Well, again, the way they patterned this year's schedule, basically following the Cup Series around.
Yeah.
Making it easier for a guy like Brad Keselowski to run the
Kyle
full.
Busch.
Kyle Busch, multiple races. Denny Hamlin for a race. Kevin Harvick for a couple races. Hopefully the word gets out. They keep doing this so they can bring more Cup drivers in so they can keep at least the 8 full-time. They only end up with 7 again because of the Paul Tracy debacle. So they end up with 7 full-time SRX competitors.
He's retiring. You can run Harvick there as his replacement.
It would have been perfect.
Just saying.
Would have been perfect if they were doing Saturday nights. And because they would still be on CBS.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I agree. CBS was better coverage.
All right, that moves us to our picks for race 26 of the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series season, the final race of the regular season, Saturday night, August the 26th, 2023, the Coke Zero Sugar 400 from Daytona International Speedway.
Always a crapshoot on who do you pick for these tight drafting tracks.
And unfortunately for our competition, this has been a very, very tricky, difficult, rough year because of the fact that Chase Elliott shit the bed. Dave is now a couple points out below the cut line for the playoffs. Actually, out of our 8 panelists.
Yeah, thanks, Allmendinger. Thanks, Elliott, you both royally
flipped
screwed
the two.
me.
We should have flipped the two.
Yeah.
We should have taken Elliott at Indy and Allmendinger for Watkins Glen.
Yeah. Would have been so much
Still
better.
wouldn't got wins, but gotten a lot more points.
Yeah, points would have not have been an issue for me. God.
So right now, 4 of our 8 panelists with 1 wild card crazy ass race to go are below the cut line. So the picks had better count for everybody this week. So Dave, who you got?
Give me Ryan Blaney.
If that pick can't come through for you, I don't know who can. If I had one left, I would take him.
Out of the guys who usually run, he's who I've got left.
Well, and he is a stellar
He is good in the
speedway
draft.
racer.
He is good in the draft.
I like that pick. Bill, below the cut line, is taking another very, very good super speedway racer in Denny Hamlin.
Yep, runs Daytona very well.
Nick,
That's who I had penciled in, but I had to shift on the fly a few races back.
Nick, also below the cut line, also taking Denny Hamlin. And then Aaron, the Big Easy, he thinks the doomsday scenario will occur. He thinks Chase Elliott will win Daytona.
You might as well give it a shot.
So the 4 guys underneath the cut line for the Frenzy Cup final regular season race. Dave takes Ryan Blaney. Bill takes Denny Hamlin. Nick takes Denny Hamlin. Aaron takes Chase Elliott. Now for the 4 of us who are above the cut line and should make it in on points regardless of what happens at Daytona. Mrs. C, no pick yet. That's fine. Still a couple hours before the deadline. I am going with the man who needs to win to assure himself a spot in the playoffs. I am taking one Darrell Bubba Wallace.
Not a bad pick,
Sam,
especially if it gets rain shortened.
Like I said, I don't need the points. I'm in. I'm going to make it in on points.
There you go.
He's the only guy that I've got available to me. I don't have Blaney.
Yeah, he's the one who can run.
I don't have Hamlin. Yeah,
he knows how to run the draft.
Right. Sam with an interesting pick. Of course, he's way out in front. He's taking Austin Cindric.
Interesting.
And then the other member of our panel.
He was sick for the last few days. He might have thought he was taking Dylan.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to end up, because of the rules that we have in place this year, I have 4 wins, he has 3. I will end up being the leader.
Yeah, even though he's got a monster points lead on all of us.
Right. Which we're working on possibly changing for next year. I still have a problem with
a win and in.
Caving in to Bill and his 1-year whining bitch fest. I still have a problem with it. It's just a 1-year aberration. We have never had outside of 1 person per year. 1 person per year.
We've had 3 at one point in the past.
I don't remember that. I do not remember that. Where we had 3 miss the playoffs, I don't remember that.
Yeah, because there were 3 of us trying to get the points to win the movie night out.
Oh, that's a
I
long
was one
time
of them.
ago.
It was a while back.
But Doug, surprisingly, the governor having a stellar run here. He's taking Kevin Harvick.
All right, there you go.
So there are 7 of our 8 picks. Check out our Facebook page to see all 8 picks this weekend before the race.
You'll find our baseball picks there as well. Coming up, football picks.
Starting next weekend. All right, now we move on to moments of silence. Dave has got a couple of those for you.
Yep. Young tragedy. Ashley Albertson, 24-year-old racer out of Indiana, sponsored by Tony Stewart Racing, unfortunately passes away young in a traffic accident on the highway. Caught up. Hearts and Thoughts and prayers go out to her family and friends. And then Tom Courtney, Olympic gold medal winning sprinter from the 56 Summer Olympics in Australia, pulled off a last-second victory in the 800-meter 4x4. So thoughts and prayers to his family and friends.
So, of course, as always, in the final segment, each and every week, whether it's a sports edition, whether it's a weekend edition, as Ross Geller said,
pivot.
We pivot. Let's play a game. Let's play a game.
Would you like to play a game?
We have only got 4, but I miss it. I miss playing Dumbass or Not. So let's do it this week. The Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week segment, we're going to turn into America's favorite game show, Dumbass or Not. So I have 4 dumbasses that I will bounce off of the esteemed conquistador Dave Height. He will tell me, Kev, you're absolutely right. Kev, you're full of shit. That's not a dumbass move, or in most cases, yeah, definitely it is. Let's start off with Yahoo Sports. As so many media outlets love to do this time of year, with the NFL season on the horizon, getting ready to start, let's simulate the 2023 season through Madden.
Yeah, because that's a good way to make predictions. Whatever.
So Yahoo simulated through Madden 24, the upcoming season. They predict, based on these simulations, that Super Bowl 58 will go to the Dallas Cowboys.
I would be embarrassed making that prediction. I would run simulations over and over and over again to get a different result. That's pathetically bad.
Oh, and the Bears were not spared. The Bears were saddled with one of the worst records in the league, according to their simulation, and Justin Fields had a miserable year.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Is it not dumbass to just even give this type of stuff any credence?
It's so pathetic. So pathetic.
All right, we talked last week about the whole scandal with Michael Oher and the Blind Side, and we'll get more into that on the weekend edition too. But it has leaked its way back into the world of regular sports, and not where you would think, not in football. There is a 2019 Ja Morant basketball card that is skyrocketing in value because in the background, the Tuohys are seen sitting there
the game.
In the front row attending the game.
Oh, for the love of God and all that's holy. You people who spend that kind of money for stupidity like that need to be taken out and shot. Dumbass.
Oh, there's also some rapper in it too that died, but nobody. I mean, we're not going to know rappers.
This is dumb. That is just dumb beyond belief.
Oh, you know who else was in the card background? Todd Bridges.
Oh, well, all right.
From different strokes.
What you talk about, Willis?
Yeah, Todd Bridges is on the card in the background too. So.
Oh, for the love! No, that is just dumbass beyond belief.
So we're 2 for 2.
We're 2 for 2.
All right, I think I'm going to have a clean sweep this week because those were the 2 that I thought might not go through. PGA Tour golfer Eric Compton arrested here recently. Why? Well, unfortunately, domestic violence. What did he do? He threw his wife through a wall.
Not only a dumbass, the guy should be buried under the foundation of her next house. Inexcusable.
Staying with golf for our final, dumbass or not. And this one's going to take a few minutes because I think this speaks to a bigger, larger issue, specifically gambling, which if you've listened to this podcast, you know Dave and I are not fans of the legalization of sports gambling.
Vehemently opposed to sports betting sites sponsoring advertising and games.
So like I said, we're staying with golf. So last weekend's BMW Championship.
How much did Phil lose this time?
Yeah, you mock, but here we go. This is why I want to spend a couple minutes on this to wrap up the show. 17th hole on Saturday. Max Homa setting up for, I believe, a 5-foot putt. Again, Saturday, but again, a lot of money on the line for all of these players.
Right, 5 foot is a makeable putt.
As he's getting ready to pull his club back and swing, a fan yells from the gallery, "Pull it!"
Oh, hell no.
You know why he yelled, "Pull it," Dave?
Because he bet on somebody else.
He had a side bet going, one of those last-second bets, you know, like you can bet on, will this guy make these free throws? Will this guy
make this putt or miss
field
it?
goal? So there was, I guess, a $3 bet whether Max Homa would make that putt. $3 bet.
$3 bet, and he yells like an asshole.
So now this opens up the bigger issue of, are we getting to the point now where sports betting is going to impact outcomes? Now, there are some sports like professional football, if we take the referees out of it, you're really not going to be able to impact the game from the stands.
Right.
But somebody brought up the point of the Tour de France,
where you got people stepping out in front of everybody.
I didn't realize this in this article as they discuss this with the Max Homa situation. There were bikers in the Tour de France who were getting nails in their tires because people were throwing nails on the course.
This is ridiculous. Sports betting has gone too fucking far with all these little side bet things that you can do, the in-game whatevers. Done. And
again, another example of the immaturity and the lack of responsibility from society. You guys need to step it up. Stop acting like idiots. Stop acting like assholes. Treat the game, whatever it is, with respect. If you've got a ticket, don't act like that buys you carte blanche to act however you want, to do whatever you want, to say whatever you want. Be respectful to the athletes. Shut your yap. Let them perform. I can't stand this kind of stuff.
I'm done.
I hate the golf stuff, especially. I know I'm old, but golf is supposed to be a gentleman's game where you watch it, you let the players play in silence.
Yeah, you have to let them focus.
Same thing with tennis. The crowd is silent while the competitors perform. Other sports, baseball, football, basketball, yeah, you go crazy, but you're far enough removed.
Right. There are
from what's going on.
The team sports are one thing. The individual stuff is completely different.
I really hope this guy has been banned forever from any PGA Tour event.
May he be banned from all sports betting sites.
I would actually be okay with the next guy who yells Baba Booey And then the next guy who yells,
Get
"You
in the
demand!"
hole!
There's another one. 3 of them.
You
Baba
say
Booey,
that stuff.
you demand, get in the hole. You will be on Sunday night television, publicly executed. On live TV for the entire world to witness.
Or at least your tongue removed so you can't speak any longer.
Oh, hell with it. Hang them. Hang them high.
Good movie.
We've got to send a message, a lesson. We're letting people break into stores on the West Coast, flash mob, robbers, and they don't get any kind of penalty, any kind of repercussion for stealing thousands of dollars of merchandise. It is time we started penalizing.
Take it back. Enforce the laws that are there for a reason. Check out the weekend edition Saturday morning.
A concert extravaganza.
Yes.
Plus, we have movie reviews. I can't say mine is very good, but
streaming.
Yes. And a new entrant into our pantheon of shows we're reviewing every week now. We'll get to that again. Check it out Saturday morning.
It's all good, kids. We'll talk to you then. Speak with you next week.